Daniel Rock 08 here, back with another review. Last night, I drew This Tuesday in Texas. I watched it, now here's my review on it. This is the second day of wrestling. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. So how is Tuesday in Texas? What was Tuesday in Texas? It was an experimental pay-per-view. It was a kind of pay-per-view where they thought maybe the fans will buy a pay-per-view that's directly after another pay-per-view. This pay-per-view happened 5-6 days after Survivor Series. This pay-per-view was more built around the grudge match between Jake Roberts and Randy Savage and the rematch between Hulk Hogan and the Undertaker. But how is this Tuesday in Texas? Will people buy a pay-per-view 1 week after another? They didn't, but that's not to say this show was bad. It had its good moments. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot of things special about it. There is one thing I really liked about this show. So let's start out with the opening match. We get Bret Hart defending his title successfully against Skinner for the Intercontinental title. Yeah, Bret Hart went up against Skinner. This was just basically a cliche babyface versus heel type match. It was basically just Skinner getting the upper hand using dirty tactics. You throw in a few false hopes, and then Bret Hart locks in the sharpshooter for the victory. I give it a 2 stars, 4 out of 10. It was whatever. Skinner being the freaking #1 contender for the Intercontinental title is weird. Next up, by the way, Skinner back then, you really study his character, I see a lot of Luke Harper type of character-wise Luke Harper. Anyways, next up we get the grudge match between Jake Roberts and Macho Man Randy Savage. This was a short match. This was about 6 minutes long, but man, my God, it was really good. It wasn't about the match though. The match was secondary. The match I give like a 7 out of 10. It was a good match, but that was secondary. It was all about the story. It was all about the post match. All about the story building up to it. Jake Roberts bring out this King Cobra, bites Macho Man in that sickening scene that scared a bunch of children. We get Macho Man is retired, and then he gets reinstated because of that. Jake Roberts is banned from bringing snakes out. This brings up this match. The program between these two was phenomenal. I'm not going to spoil anything here. I definitely recommend the match and the build-up and the promos. The promos of this match and leading up to this match and afterwards are better than the match itself. The promos were just fucking killer. So I give it a 7 out of 10. After the match, Jake Roberts hits 3 DDTs on Macho Man and then slaps Elizabeth. Fucking loved it. Really good stuff. Then we get British Bulldog versus the Warlord. Just a typical big man versus big man match. Warlord, in my opinion, is one of the worst wrestlers of all time. He's right up there with Hercules and Dino Bravo. But man, this match was I give it a 4 out of 10 as well. Then we have a tag team match. A tag match between Repo Man, Ted DiBiase, Tito Santana, and Virgil. Pretty weird tag team match, but it's actually good. It's actually kind of good. 3 stars. Ted DiBiase gets the victory after a giant knee from the back from Repo Man. Yeah, Repo Man was in this fucking match. Repo Man, man, what the hell was that whole gimmick? Next, we get to the main event. We get Hulk Hogan versus a champion, The Undertaker. And much like this match, Ric Flair got involved again. This time the tables got turned around. This time it backfired. Ric Flair went to grab the ashes from the Undertaker's urn and missed Hulk Hogan and instead hit the Undertaker. Hulk Hogan then got the victory, but then later after the match, later on during the show, after the match, Hogan was stripped of the title because of Jack Tunney, the absolute worst president of all time in the history of the WWE. So the title gets stripped, and that leads up to the title being held up at the Royal Rumble match in 1992. Now, The Undertaker's title reign was nothing more than just a plot device to springboard a match between Hogan and Flair, which was originally planned for WrestleMania 8. Of course, that never happened. So, obviously, Undertaker's title reign was just a joke, really. He was champion for 6 days. Another forgotten title reign for The Undertaker. That match, actually, it sucked. But then again, Undertaker and Hogan never had good chemistry together. I give it a 3.5 out of 10. It's barely not bad. Overall, if you have an hour and a half, I definitely check out the show. For the most part, it does have its moments. The stuff between Jake Roberts and Macho Man, however, is a must-see. And with that being said, I give it a 5 out of 10. Now, what do I get to watch tonight and review tomorrow for the third day of wrestling? Hopefully not Starrcade 97. I get... I dropped it. Starrcade. Ooh, another Starrcade. Starrcade 1991. Alright. Battle Bowl. See you next time.